that was kind of what I was known for, and I'm sort of bringing back more of that, and the attention to that detail is really important, and have that in the game, because I just think if you can have that, it will immerse you into the world. And for me, that's what I want to do. I want to build this universe that you just get lost in, and you can go off and you can be whatever you want to be, a mercenary or a space pirate, and have a great time and escape, because building worlds is always, like the old Origin motto was like, we create worlds, and that was pretty much Richard's and mine. That's what we like to do. And so I'm having a lot of fun, because with Star Citizen I'm getting to build a world in a detail that I've always wanted to build, but I've never gotten to. I've always sort of built bits of it and been frustrated, and this is my dream game, and I'm actually lucky to have enough. Thank you to everyone out there that's back. Enough people sort of be excited by that same idea, and back myself and the team to make that game. So it's really great.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Star Citizen channel. Awesome to have you back. I hope your week hasn't been too stressful, especially right now with both the Tech Preview channel and patch 4.4 running at the same time. Honestly, it's a real patch marathon lately. Some things aren't running super smoothly, some features are still a bit rough, but hey, that's what you get with new updates and major changes in testing. But before we really dive in, let me just say a huge thank you for all the incredible feedback on my last video. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now let's talk why I'm making this video today. As many of you know, Nyx is about to go live very soon, or at least that's what a lot of people are hoping for. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's still in the PTU Wave 1. Maybe by the time you see this video, Nyx will already be live. But here is what really sticks with me. Nyx is launching incomplete. No planets, just Delamar and Levski. And honestly, that's hard to ignore. After all these years, I keep thinking, why is this still not possible? Sure, CIG has given their reasons. They sound legit. But sometimes you wonder, are there other factors they just don't talk about? Maybe this is a conscious decision, maybe not, we honestly don't know for sure. I mean, they told us the reason, but who knows. That's exactly why I made this video, to break it all down for you in an objective, honest way. You can really only understand why long-time bakers are frustrated if you know the full history. And as for newcomers, just sit back, relax, and dive into Star Citizen's development journey. It is super interesting. And again, thank you so much for all the support. Drop your feedback at any time. Today we are taking a journey through Star Citizen's development history, a story that's truly been a rollercoaster of hope, hype and frustration for many of us. Don't worry, this isn't going to be some angry rant. My goal is simply to show you what CIG has communicated over the years, what's really happened behind the scenes, and why we have ended up where we are today. All the info I use comes from official sources, developer statements, and publicly available facts. Keep in mind, things can always change, and sometimes news drops even while I'm finishing up a video. If you notice anything, leave a comment and please keep it respectful. Star Citizen is a massive project. Development takes time and nobody can keep track of everything alone. So let's look at how we got here. Imagine it's 2012. You open a Kickstarter and see this massive space project. And right there in the pitch video comes the promise. Star Citizen will launch with 100 star systems. 13 years and countless millions later, and we have Stanton, Pyro, and soon half of Nyx. Did you honestly think back then that in 2025 we would still be waiting for a true multi-system universe? What most people didn't truly realize back then, the big numbers were mostly about hype and ambitious PR. The tech just wasn't there to build such a complex universe. It's the same with Starfield. Yes, the game has over 1000 planets, but most of them are procedurally generated, empty and very similar to each other. It's a lot of quantity, but not much unique or meaningful content. Star Citizen also promised hundreds of systems, but even now, there is just a handful of truly handcrafted finished worlds. Bottom line, the numbers sounded awesome, but what really matters isn't the quantity, it's how unique and alive the worlds actually feel. Most of it was pure vision, not something that actually existed yet. Development took a big turn in 2015 and 2016. CIG announced procedural planets for the first time. The real breakthrough came in 2016 at CitizenCon. The now famous live demo showed how full planets could actually be explored in the game. The community went wild, but CIG also made it clear a single modern star system is now exponentially more complex than their original plans ever imagined. In 2024, Rich Tyrer from CIG said, a modern system today takes as much work as 10 of the ones we originally planned. That's why for Star Citizen 1.0, the new goal became just 5 systems: Stanton, Pyro, Nyx, Castra and Terra. From 2017 onwards, it was all about new tools. At CitizenCon 2021, crafting worlds took the stage, the Gen 12 renderer, new terrain tools, and massive workflow improvements. The promise was clear: with these tools, planet and system production would finally be dramatically faster. But reality had other plans. Pyro, the first new system after Stanton, still took nearly 4 years, from its first mention in 2020 to its release in late 2024. At CitizenCon 2024, Genesis, in other words Planetech V5, was revealed, bringing even richer, more diverse and vibrant worlds than ever before. But here is the catch: Genesis requires Vulkan as its rendering engine. As of November 2025 though, Vulkan is still not production ready, so Genesis can only be used in a limited way for now. CIG's tech director Ali Brown said, "We are waiting for Vulkan. Anything else would mean double the work." The official word is, once Genesis and Vulkan are ready, system production will speed up considerably. A quick tech side note, not a programmer, but here is how I understand it. Vulkan is a rendering API. Basically, it runs on your PC, not on the server. But Genesis was designed as a fully integrated system, which means the data is generated and streamed on the server. Meshes, textures and biomes are delivered to your client. All communication is tailored for Gen 12 and Vulkan. If Vulkan isn't stable on the client side, then the whole data pipeline, mesh streaming, etc. often doesn't work properly. CIG's logic here is better to wait and do it right once than waste time building everything twice. Let me take a moment to talk about something that's often brought up in the community, and honestly, this is just my take on things. Ever since Alpha 4.4, we have seen some pretty massive performance issues. Take Nyx as an example. In the PTU, it started out running on only 2 servers. According to the latest patch notes, that's been updated to 3. 3 servers for an entire star system, it feels a little tight, doesn't it? A lot of people are wondering if the real bottleneck in adding new systems has less to do with the tech and more to do with the server capacity. Maybe the infrastructure just isn't there. Or maybe CIG is holding off until Genesis is truly ready before committing more server resources. Of course, the official statement keeps pointing to Genesis and Vulkan as the limiting factors. Whether that's the whole story though, well, only CIG truly knows. CIG now frequently talks about 3 systems as playable, but to be honest, Nyx is really only halfway done as far as actual gameplay goes. The Stanton system is fully released, Pyro is out as a lawless system, and Nyx only has Delamar/Levski available. The 3 main planets are missing. The community's reaction: 3 systems sounds impressive, but really it's 2.5 at best. It's clever messaging, but still not quite what was originally promised. One thing that really stands out, every major patch comes with a huge wave of sales. New ships, skins and special offers suddenly get a ton of attention. A lot of people in the community say the planets are deliberately released in parts, like Nyx 1, Nyx 2, Nyx 3, so that each little rollout creates its own hype cycle. The pattern is always pretty similar. 4.5, mining planet, maybe mining ships on sale. 4.6, exploration planet, maybe rovers, scanning gear and special equipment. 4.7, who knows, maybe science, combat planet. Whether that's some genius strategy or just a happy coincidence, well, there are plenty of theories and a healthy dose of sarcasm. Maybe those 3 planets aren't being held back for technical reasons, but for profit. Is it really Vulkan and Genesis or just marketing? In the end, only CIG truly knows. The mood in the community about all this is, once again, completely split. Some are hyped, some are hopeful, many are openly frustrated or critical, and more than a few are simply in wait and see mode. I genuinely want to know, how did the last patch feel for you? Please drop your thoughts in the comments, keep it constructive, honest and respectful. With a topic like this, every perspective is interesting. CIG keeps pointing to bottlenecks, new processes and the massive scope as reasons for slow development. Yet even in 2025, progress often feels slow. And there is still no real multi-system universe. Is frustration justified? Absolutely, but staying hopeful and curious is totally fair too. My take, the 3 systems messaging feels a bit clever PR. A lot of focus on image and monetization, but not enough on deep or meaningful gameplay. I still hope Genesis and Vulkan will finally bring real progress and that we will soon see more systems in action. Until then, I'm staying critical but optimistic about what's coming. To wrap up things, I want to share my unfiltered thoughts with you. After all these years, I've spent a lot of time observing, analyzing and questioning everything happening around this project. On one hand, I actually believe there might be genuine technical limitations at play, especially with server meshing, and in particular static server meshing. Maybe the text just isn't ready yet and it's not as easy as flipping a switch to add more servers to Nyx without creating bigger issues. But if you look at the PTU right now, Nyx was given 3 servers, but it seems like some were actually taken away from Stanton. So overall, the total number of servers hasn't increased. That really makes me wonder, why not just bump up the overall server capacity? Why not allow both Stanton and Nyx the server resource they both need, so things actually run smoothly? I mean, sure, at the end of the day, of course, it's all about cost. But honestly, the game experience in patch 4.4, as it is right now, just isn't fun for me. That's not how I want to play Star Citizen at all. And yes, I know that things will probably get better and better with future patches. There's always hope for improvement, but if I'm being honest, as things stand now, it's just not enough for me. The number of servers, for example, simply doesn't measure up in my view, not even for just Stanton and Pyro. Even those had persistent problems, especially in Pyro with servers struggling badly. And now with Nyx being added and 3 servers apparently taken away from Stanton to make it happen, I really don't know if that's a great move. Bottom line, for me, patch 4.4 just isn't fun the way it's set up right now. That's not the Star Citizen experience I want to have at all. And you know, sometimes the whole situation reminds me of real life. If a friend lies to you once, maybe you forgive them. Maybe you even let it slide a second time, but after the 3rd, 4th or 5th time, you start to ask yourself, are they taking me for an idiot? And eventually you just don't want anything to do with them anymore. That's kind of where I am at with CIG now. Over nearly 15 years this company has given us so many promises that just didn't turn out the way we were told. Whether justified or not, it starts to add up and you naturally become skeptical, more careful and a lot less trusting. Of course, it could all be much more calculated and deliberate. Pure marketing. Maybe the goal is to turn every feature or new planet into an individual event to keep generating hype, and money of course, over and over again. For all we know, they could have technically released the missing planets using Genesis earlier, or maybe not. The truth is, we just don't know. Maybe they really could have pushed them out already, or maybe there were valid reasons to wait. We simply don't have the full picture. After all these years, you start to develop a kind of sixth sense for this stuff, and you know what? From a business standpoint, I get it. CIG absolutely has the right to make money, and we all want them to succeed so we can eventually get the game we are hoping for. Still, that weird feeling never really goes away. Sometimes the pieces just don't quite fit together, and it feels like there is always something that's not being said. Looking back at last year's CitizenCon, Chris Roberts made it sound pretty clear that Nyx would be coming, as far as I know, and it sounded like it would be the full system. Either he already knew back then that it wouldn't be complete, or something must have gone totally off the tracks in the meantime. Sure, plans go wrong all the time, that's life, but it is remarkable just how often Star Citizen's PR story changes after the fact. So at this point, I intentionally keep my expectations in check. I'm not trying to force my opinion on anyone or rain on your parade. I just want to share my point of view. Maybe some of you out there will recognize yourself in this, or maybe you will end up thinking about things a little differently and save yourself a bit of frustration by not expecting too much. In the end, it's all about approaching this whole thing with a sense of realism, while still trying to hold on to some of the hype and excitement that made us fall in love with Star Citizen in the first place. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end and listening to my thoughts. At the end of the day, we are all fans waiting and hoping for something special. No matter how critical or reflective my tone may seem, for me it's about passion, positivity and sharing the way together. Stay optimistic, stay honest, and keep engaging with the community. See you in the verse, hopefully with more systems and even greater stories soon.